August 20th, 1969.
You do remember?
Yeah, I do.
Next month will be 50 years since that fateful day. Pittsburgh Steeler great Rocky Bleier was barely a Pittsburgh Steeler at all. He was in combat in Vietnam, and this happened.
That I got hit twice in the same action, in the same day. One, the first time, I got shot through the left thigh with an AK-47. Same action later on, same day, I got hit with a grenade that blew up through my right foot, knee, and thigh.
Bleier had to come home, and the journey began to get better. Forget about playing running back for the time being. He needed to walk again.
So I had nerve damage and tissue damage and broken bones within my foot. Hit me in the knee, hit me in the thigh. Those wounds you could sew up and take care of. But it was the foot and the nerve, because everything then you do from the running back position all starts with that.
He was lucky to be alive and lucky to be with the Steelers. That organization gave him the time to heal. From injured list to practice squad to finally getting on the field in an actual game, it took almost 5 years, and Rocky had a decision to make.
And after the 73 season, I in my mind, I said, that's it, I'm not coming back. Only to be talked into it, and maybe the reality was, okay, maybe I'm shortchanging myself, and let's go back and give it a shot again, and that was in 74.
One of the best decisions of his life. He took his shot, and things finally began falling into place.
Then things happen. Somebody gets hurt, you get a chance to play, and then all of a sudden you get a chance to break into the starting lineup and become successful. We start to win, and we win the division, and then the rest kind of becomes history, and you become part of that history. And so
4 Super Bowl victories later, and now decades later, Bleier spends a lot of his time listening and visiting with fellow Vietnam vets that he feels got the short end of the stick.
You were identified with the conflict, you were identified with the war, and you were thought poorly of because you served during that period of time. That has changed, obviously, but not the scars that Vietnam veteran has endured over those periods of time.
His status as a football champion makes it easier for him to talk about the past. He calls it a catharsis. But for others, it's not that simple, and that's why he loves to help.
So if I have a chance to talk to veterans, what I'd like to tell them is to be able to tell their stories, because there's generations that don't understand what you've done.
And that's why he was honored to be the special guest at this year's Freedom Warrior golf outing. Bleier loves how the money raised stays in town and helps the local veterans keep going.
And especially here, in what takes place with this program specifically, and the money being raised, staying here, staying within the community, helping the veterans that live here and made this their home and have come back home, because it becomes very difficult from a veteran's point of view, is that the pride that you have serving, you don't want to ever ask for help, and you don't have your hand out, but yet there's a need.
And Rocky still follows the game that made him famous. So of course, being smack dab in the middle of the Browns-Steeler rivalry, we couldn't let him leave without a prediction for this season.
Yeah, the prediction is the Steelers will win the division, obviously, but Cleveland is on the upswing. I'm as excited to see what Cleveland does this year as I think the Cleveland fans are, because it really helps the division. It just helps the rivalry over the period of time. But the Steelers, I think, still is a stronger team.